Hello, come in, have a seat, have a seat. It's a bit strange asking you to have a seat when this is not really a role play. This is a Q&A video, right? But still, I would love for you to come in. I would love for you to have a seat and enjoy just being here and feeling sort of the calmness of the moment. I just wanted to say before we start with the Q&A, this is sort of a 10,000 subscriber special video. And I think that I just wanted to take this moment to thank you guys, because I feel like, it's a little surreal that there's like 10,000 of you out there somewhere in the world. Like, you've watched my videos, you have commented, or you've subscribed, right? Like, it's a little insane, especially because I mainly started this feels like a very nice creative outlet for me, as well as, I feel like I'm helping somebody fall asleep, right? So it's actually kind of crazy that it does actually help some people fall asleep, as well as get some laughs out of you guys. So I feel like, thank you for being around. Thank you for sticking around. That's very, very thoughtful. And I'm very happy that it helps you guys, But that is not why we're here. You're not here necessarily to be thanked by me, but I still want to thank you. I put a community post up for questions for this Q&A. So all of these questions are from you guys that I'm going to go through. It kind of feels obligatory. Like, once you hit 10,000, I've seen other other ASMR artists do this, where they'll just they hit 10,000 subscribers and they do a Q&A. So I figured I may as well just do the thing that other people do. So with that, I did write down all of the questions, but I'm not going to mention who asked the question because, one, there were some duplicates. So, I didn't want to give credit to multiple people. And two, I'm not sure how much you guys would appreciate me saying your names, in video form. So I didn't want to accidentally dox anybody or something. So just not going to mention it. And you'll know if your question is being asked because you obviously asked it, and it's going to be phrased very similarly. So with that, we should go ahead and get started, don't you think? Okay, well, so the first question that I actually got this question a few times, is, do I script my videos? My videos they're never scripted fully. So some videos are completely unscripted. I just have an idea, a vague thought of basically the title is what I think of first. I'm just I think this concept might be funny and kind of interesting to do a 20-ish minute video about. And then I sit down and I do the video. With sort of specific triggers that I have in mind, whether that's just writing on paper, lots of tapping, or whether it's makeup or anything else, right? Measuring or something. But I think that for some other videos, a lot of the corporate ones, I end up writing bullet points for, because I feel it needs to be a bit more professional. I feel if it's not professional, it ends up being inauthentic to the corporate world, right? And I am nothing if not completely serious and very, very accurate to the world, especially when it comes to corporations and how they treat people. So I do think that I try to write down some of the more corporate videos. I don't know if there's any other videos that I really script that way or write down bullet points for. No, I don't think so. I think that's mainly it. Yeah. Otherwise, if it's a makeup video, I tend to not have it fully scripted. I have the triggers that I want to do in the specific order that I'm doing them, and then I'm ad-libbing the conversation, right? I'm thinking in particular, there was a video sort of doing your makeup before you're sacrificed. That one, I think I was reading a book, and that trope of being sacrificed, I was that might be very interesting. I forget what book it was. It was a Red Riding Hood sort of retelling. Wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, so I was doing that, and I was so I'll do the makeup, and then I'll just world build through as I'm doing the makeup, right? I feel like with a lot of, when there's a lot of triggers, and I'm speaking so much about this one question, uh, but I think that it's kind of important. Anyway, that is, I write bullet points for some of my videos, but mostly I'm either ad-libbing or sort of going off the dome. So the second question I got is, how do I stay consistent with my videos? I do have a schedule. I do uh, Mondays and Thursdays, but I don't say that because this is not the first time I have posted videos. I think one of my really, really old videos is still up for people to see. It's like a makeup video. It was from like years ago. And I had multiple other videos from that time, but I got really burnt out making the videos because I was really pushing myself to do like 3 videos a week, very consistently. And when I tell myself I want to make a schedule and I like I had it like up on the banner on YouTube and whatever. And it was like, I felt a lot of pressure and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was like, I kind of like burnt myself out on it. So when I came back, I was like, oh, I kind of want to, take it a little bit easy. This is for fun. So don't stress about it. If you don't want to do it at a specific time or a specific schedule, then you don't have to. In particular, I didn't put it on the YouTube banner. I didn't say anywhere that this is when I this is when I post my videos. I did not want to say that because I did not want to set the expectation that I would have videos out like at very specific times. But because I didn't set that expectation, I felt free enough to actually stick to a schedule. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so that's kind of how I stay consistent. And, I do end up, getting to the wire sometimes. And I'm just like, I need to do a video. So let me go do a video. And of course, like it's really not that difficult. And I do get, my husband helps me. So it's actually very, very pleasant. And actually, a sub question I had was, do you have any ideas written down? Like, do I have a list of ideas for like potential videos? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. I have like a notepad on my phone that has like tons of different ideas on there, just like different titles or different just like general vibes of like videos. I've had some that like when I started the channel, I've written that down, but I just like never got to it. And I think that's probably because I do go by like how I feel. So like an example is like, I had a video idea for a very long time. Oh, actually the planning your, apology video. That video I had written down for such a long time, but I didn't feel like doing it until like way later. So, it just feels like I have the ideas down so that I can just like look through and see which ones I feel like doing, and then just do that. And then just figure out like the specifics of the video like later, The third question that I had was, how do I decide when to do a British accent? The British accent, I think, is kind of interesting because I started the British accent in my medieval videos, and I started the medieval videos mainly because like I had some ideas for like period videos, and when I think of medieval, I do think of the British, and I do think that's a little problematic. But I did spend a lot of time in England as a youth, and I feel like when people online tend to have a lot of really like cool props and sets and stuff. And I don't really have that. I just sort of have like my room or like this room. So I feel like, oh, okay, maybe I can pull off a nice mediocre British accent. And actually when I first did it, I was like talking to my husband about this because I was saying like, oh my God, I feel like people are going to cancel me. Like, I don't understand, is it going to be terrible? I was really nervous about it. I have a lot of anxiety, but I felt very anxious about it, and he had to be like, it was totally fine. I listened to it and it was totally fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Plus, people hate the British, so it's fine. And he's right. So I will also say there's a sub question to this one. It was like, what inspired me to do my videos to be funny? not exactly a sub question, but a separate question, but I wrote it down as a sub question, so my fault. I would say that there was one video that I did, which was a bonsai video. It was like, so you want to be the next like bonsai, you're a wannabe bonsai. And that video I filmed twice. The first time I filmed it, I made it halfway through and I was just trying to like trim you because you're a bonsai and I'm just trying to trim you. I'm like taking care of you, right? And I felt so boring and I felt like very not engaged. And I was like, this is not, I don't feel like this is working. So I like ad-libbed the whole like America's Next Top Model esque vibe to that video. And I like really enjoyed doing that. And I think from then I was like, okay, I think I want to do a bit more funny. You know, I think I want to lean into like a little, more interesting concept. You know, I was doing like slightly more funny things earlier than that, but I was trying to really tone it down and just being myself. And then I like sort of added more as I like just enjoyed it and sort of got more comfortable, you know. Can I make more royal videos? This is a very simple question. As in like the helping you with your affair, you're a lesbian, or sort of like the night ones, like from earlier, I believe. And the answer is definitely yes. I definitely want to do more. I don't have particular ideas for them right now. At least I don't think. But I go through like, you know, moods, you know, like my mood is like, oh, I don't really want to do that right now. I want to do something else. So it's really up to my mood, to be honest. But I definitely want to do more. I also want to do more sort of drawing videos, a lot like things where I've drawn something and have you guys pick out stuff. I know that a lot of people really like those videos and I like them too, but that takes a little bit more work because that one is, I don't write bullet points for, but because I'm drawing stuff, I do end up having ideas for what each thing is. So I do feel like that one takes a little bit more effort than my other ones. And so if I'm having like a really busy week or, you know, I'm just like feeling a little down or something, I'm just like, I don't want to like have to do more work before I film the video or more work than is like necessary, you know. Where do I get inspiration from? This is a hard question to answer, mainly because I feel like my inspiration comes from sort of my anger at the world, as well as my, I don't know, sometimes it's my anger at the world, you know, like a lot of my corporate videos or a lot of my, sort of like very, like, you know, my anger at billionaires. I feel like that comes through a little bit, in my videos. I also feel like a lot of my inspiration comes from just like ad-libbing with my husband. Actually, like we'll sometimes we'll sit together and we'll just come up with funny titles. It's just because we it's like a little bit that we're doing, and then I'll just write down any ones that I actually think could make a good video. Because sometimes he'll suggest things and I'm just like, he doesn't listen to ASMR at all. He doesn't watch ASMR. Before me, he did not understand what ASMR was. So he very much like suggests things that I'm just like, I don't think that's actually going to be a good video, or like that's not going to be good. But he tries, you know, and that's all I can ask of him. Next is, how did I get into ASMR? Well, how did I get into ASMR as a concept is the question. I would say that I have been into ASMR for a very long time. When I was really young, I would get ASMR. I didn't know what it was. And at a certain point, the earliest videos that I watched that was ASMR that I didn't know was ASMR was this channel. It was a drawing channel. It was just, it was manga lessons. I was really young at the time. And this is such deep lore on like a very small channel. So you might not know this. You probably don't know this, but there's a channel that was called Manga Lessons, and the person who was in charge of it was Zed Kitty Zed, and then she left and is now like has a million subscribers. Her name is Bailey J on YouTube now. But someone else came in, and this was like a college student. And I was young at the time, so I was just like, oh my God, a college student, you're so old. And she did like 10 videos of like, how to draw. And she was kind of awkward. There was a lot of paper, like paper sounds, a lot of just like swiping paper away and like tapping the page and stuff. And she's totally unintentional. She's like just sort of being herself while also juggling like being at school. And the actual like content of the video, I didn't care that much about, but I cared about like, I was like, oh my God, it gave me so many tingles. It was crazy. The channel is still up, but it's been like, because I don't think she owned the channel. I think someone like Otaku Fuel owned the channel or something. Whatever the case is, the videos are still up and they're very like, every so often I'll go back just to like, see what like very young Basil like watched for ASMR. But it's very like, it was very unintentional. Yeah, that's how I got into ASMR. It's still like sort of the general like watching of ASMR because I use those to fall asleep a lot. Favorite ASMR trigger. My favorite ASMR trigger to hear, I think, is a lot of wood tapping. I like wood tapping a lot. I don't like wet sounds. I don't like water. Don't like wet sounds. And I feel like spit painting is something I really don't. I know this is a question about what I like, but spit painting in particular, I feel like this is pretty popular right now, and I do not like it. I don't know why. It just like it tickles the wrong parts of my brain. I feel like the things that I really like are like very dry tapping, right? Like lots of scratching on wood or like nail tapping on wood, like on rulers and stuff. I really, really like that. Or I even just like, I like soft spoken a lot more than I like whispering, which is why I tend to soft speak. I don't like whispering when it's whispering the entire video. I like whispering when it's just like parts of me speaking, like I'm speaking in a soft-spoken voice and then I whisper a little bit and then I go back to soft speaking. That really like triggers for me, but I don't like I don't like complete complete whispering, though that changes. Like I do like some whispering channels, but definitely not all the time. And favorite ASMR triggers to do, I would say, is I do like doing the makeup videos. I do tend to feel like they're very repetitive, but I think that's what I like about them. It's just like, oh, I just get to like touch the camera for a while, and it's just very, it's very fun. I also really, really like the like, tapping on a book or something and like showing it to the camera, but I do feel like my camera is not that great at picking up what's on the page, so I do feel like I need to work on that or something. Who are my favorite ASMR artists? This one is interesting. Well, I think it's a very typical question, I would say. I've seen other people answer this type of question. I feel like my favorite ASMR artists, they switch, it changes. But the ones that I consistently find myself going back to are, I would say Blair ASMR is one. I think her name is Blair ASMR. I went back, she stopped making videos for a while, and then I was kind of sad. And then she has recently posted a new video, and I was like, oh, wonderful. She just does a lot of like trigger videos. She does some role plays, but not a ton of role plays. Her name is Cami ASMR. She is a like Muslim woman who is in a hijab, and she like does a lot of makeup videos. And I really like her stuff. She does a lot of like Muslim videos as well, and I really enjoy her stuff. I tend to go back to it. She does a lot of like the here are your options. Here's a catalog of like makeup options, and let's go through each one. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would definitely recommend her. Yeah, so I would say that those are the two mainly, like Blair ASMR and Cami ASMR, I tend to go back to. I do listen to a lot of different people as well, but those are the main two. And they tend to be smaller channels. Yeah, so the next question is, what are my favorite books and movies or series? Favorite books? I really, really like the Jasmine Throne series, which is, I think it's the Lotus Empire series, but the first book is the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, I believe. And I really, really like those books. They were very, very good. Liked every single one. Um, and like read them as soon as they came out. It was really loved it. I also really, really like Dead and Breakfast. It's a sort of cozy mystery about two gay vampires who run a bed and breakfast. So like someone gets murdered and it's pinned on one of them, and so they have to figure out what actually happened so that they can not go to jail. Very fun and very, very cute, very punny. In terms of movies, that's a little bit harder because I mainly hate watch things. I don't really watch things that I like. Movies are hard for me because I never want to sit down and watch a movie for 2 hours. You know, like even though I watch TV shows and when I watch a TV show, I'll sit for longer. The idea that I can stop after any episode makes me okay with sitting for that long. But if it's a movie, I feel like, oh, but now I have to sit for a whole 2 hours and just like, you know, when is it going to be over? You know, it's kind of hypocritical, but I would say that the most recent movie that I watched is actually Wicked Part 2. I watched it on New Year's Eve, and I did not like it. No, I did not like it. But you know, if you did, that's okay. But I absolutely did not like it, although I didn't like the first one. So I'm a big fan of the musical. So it had a high bar, and it kind of felt like the epitome of capitalism to split the movie in two when it didn't need to be split, in my opinion. You know, where it's like, oh, you really want to milk this thing, don't you? Anyway, in terms of series, I have a lot of favorite series. I'm not watching anything currently, but I really, really loved Heartstopper when that was coming out. And I really, really loved, when I was younger, I really loved Gossip Girl and Grey's Anatomy. Those were like my two that I like kept watching. And you know, I have gone back and watched them again, and they are not as well. Grey's Anatomy is very dramatic. And so is Gossip Girl, but Gossip Girl is dramatic in a very funny way, where it's just like Serena is like throwing her phone in a trash can because she just can't handle the text message she just got, and she's just rich enough to buy a new phone, you know. So I think that's kind of funny. And you know, I do recognize the problems with those shows, but it's just like they had an effect on me as I was growing up. I would say I also watched Pretty Little Liars, actually, now that I remember, but it didn't hit the same way for me. But I do remember Toby from Pretty Little Liars because I was like, do I have the same nose as Toby? So next question is my fave icon, and this is in terms of like a person. Icon is a little interesting, right? Because I feel like when I hear the term icon, I think like Madonna or Lady Gaga or something, but I've never been that into like celebrity culture in that way, where I'm just like, oh, Stan, Queen. It just feels so wrong for me to say that. So I feel like the people that I think are semi-famous that I particularly enjoy as people are like Brennan Lee Mulligan or like Vic Michaelis from Dropout. I do like Dropout's content a lot. Not everything that Dropout does I particularly love, but I do love a lot of it. I love Dimension 20, and I guess that's a series that I liked on, isn't it? I could have just said that. But you know, Vic Michaelis, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Allie Beardsley, like any of the people on there really, of the original, well, not original, but like, you know, I don't particularly love the Smosh people. I don't particularly love the like new people that they're bringing in. That's not new people. Like, I'm not opposed to new people. I just don't particularly love Smosh. You might be noticing a pattern that I tend to like criticize or say things I don't like when you're asking me what I like. It's because I am a hater at heart, right? I'm born to be hateful, and I can't not hate something, and it's kind of bothersome. So next I have, what was my favorite video to film? I feel like I answered this question already, actually. No, I didn't. My favorite video to film, I would say, I really, really enjoyed doing my like the one of the first medieval videos that I did where I was the squire, and you're a knight and I'm taking care of you. Um, that was actually I really, really liked doing that because it was inspired by the novel that I was writing at the time, and it never got published, by the way. I just I was just I really enjoyed doing that because I felt like I already had so much like background and lore to this like world, more so than a lot of my other videos. Um, like I didn't have to think too much about it. I just could go, right? And so it felt very natural and um, very nice for me to do. Do I speak another language? I do. I do speak Arabic. أقدر أحكي عربي بس العربي حقي مو كتير يعني مو كتير كويس. فما أحكي عربي في الفيديوز حقي. I basically just said that my Arabic is not that great. Yeah, I sort of feel like with Arabic, I don't really speak it a lot in my videos, mainly because I feel like there's a little bit of racism a little bit, where I just like I don't want to subject myself to the Western world tends to think of Arabic as sort of a more violent language, and I guess I could like fight against that a little bit, but I'm also more comfortable in English anyway. So I did grow up in the Middle East, so I spoke Arabic all the time. But I grew up learning both Arabic and English, which is why my English is like this. And I learned English watching a lot of American television, actually. So it's why I have a very distinct or indistinct like Ohio accent, even though I've never been to Ohio or something. Actually, when I was in college, my RA was like just assumed I was from Ohio, and I was just like, that's crazy because I've literally never been. Okay, so next is if you could live in another country, what country would that be? Well, I've lived in a few countries in the Middle East, and then here in the United States of America. I'm now like a U.S. citizen here, and I would say that it's hard. It's hard. Every country has its problems, and I don't particularly like the problems that are here. But whenever I think about moving to a different place, or whenever I think of like a different country to be living in, it comes with a little bit of issues, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in England, but would I like living in like where British people are? I feel like, there'd be British people around me. I wouldn't like that. Same with France. I don't know. I mean, the French people really don't like my kind. I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm not really sure what other countries I would necessarily want to live in. I wouldn't mind living in Canada, although that is kind of part of England, isn't it? It's part of the British Empire. Ireland, I would really love to. Like, Ireland seems really cool, and the people there seem, from what I've seen, they seem great, and I honestly, actually, that is my answer. I would prefer to live in Ireland. What is your cat's name? I remember this question is from a commenter that comments on a lot of my videos, and I really appreciate it. You know who you are. My cat. So I have the trick here is that I have two cats, and they look very similar. One's Mishmish and one's Zaytun. It's Arabic for apricot and olive. And they were named that because when we found them at the shelter, Mishmish was very, very sweet, like literally rubbing up against us, like trying to basically like trying to like sell himself. And his brother, who he's bonded to, was off in like Narnia, in like the very corner of the shelter, like up on a like little patio thing where the window was, and like nobody could reach him. People would like give him treats, and he did not want any. He would not eat anything. The poor boy was traumatized. So we were just like, okay, he's a little bit salty and he's a little bit sweet. So that was the names, and we did get them, and they were very, very sweet. And I think the cat that tends to be in my videos is Mish Mish, because he is less bothered by my presence in the room. Zaytoon isn't really bothered by my presence, but he wants more attention from me. So if he's not sleeping, he's like meowing for pets, whereas Mish Mish tends to be like, well, if you're not going to feed me, I may as well just be sleeping. So that's kind of like their personalities. Would I want this to be a full-time thing? And by this is sort of the ASMR channel. That would be great. I mean, that would be great, but I'm not really, I'm just doing this for the fun of it. Like, I have ads turned on for like the beginning and end of the video, but YouTube yells at me to be like, turn on like mid-roll ads or whatever. And I'm just like, please don't. And I also like, I don't feel like I need necessarily more. I'm happy with how it is. I'm happy with like the people that have been enjoying my content and that have found it helpful to sleep. I feel like that's already like incredibly, I don't want to say humbling, but incredibly gratifying. So I don't necessarily need it to be more, but it would be nice. But I'm never say no. But as the wonderful and kind of problematic, not kind of, but pretty problematic poet once said, never say never, by Justin Bieber, right? I'm sure someone else said that before him, but that is who I think of when I think of never say never. And what was it? Oh, this is the next question. This is also by the same person. What was it like coming out? And this is a queer person asking me this. Coming out was interesting for me because I grew up in the Middle East, where being gay is not necessarily approved of, and I grew up in a very conservative family as well. So my family had a lot of adjusting. So when I moved to America, there was a point where I like came out to them. It was very bad. And lots of stuff has happened. I don't need to regale you particularly on the details because this is public. But they have made a lot of strides, and they have pushed very hard to be better as people. They're not the best. Like they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not perfect. They're not like completely understanding, but they're trying. And I can really tell that they're trying, So we've gotten to a very, very good place, and I'm like in full contact with them. But at one point in time, I was like full no contact. So I think that's honestly like way more than I ever expected from my family. So it's good. I think that was I did come out in an email. I do want to make that detail. I did come out in an email. It was kind of a very nerve-wracking email that I sent, which then kind of wasn't. I don't think that was the best thing to do in email, but I also felt like I couldn't say. Like I wouldn't be able to like get the words out if I tried to do it over the phone, because we were not in the same country at the time. So, and I felt like I needed to do it. So, that's very abridged story. And the last question I have is, do you have a boyfriend? And the answer is yes and no, because I have a husband. I do not have a boyfriend. We've been married for 10 years, 10 years this year, which is crazy. But we met in college. We did not get married in college, but we met in college. And that was very fun. He's very near and dear to my heart, and he helps with the videos all the time. He does a lot of the editing, so thank him for that. I definitely think that, well, part of why he does it is because he was really excited for me to do this, and then he also knows that, like, at the very beginning, I felt very uncomfortable, like, having to watch myself. So he was like, oh, well, I'll do it, and it'll be fine. And, as I've gotten more comfortable, it's not really more of a necessity, but more of he wants to do it. So it feels very nice. And I'm very blessed by him. So as you guys are as well, you need to thank him. Okay? So give him some thanks. Basil's husband. I'm not telling you his name, and his name is not Time. I do know that was part of the original question. I don't think I want to, like, put his, like, actual name out there because I don't know if he wants that. Yeah, and that is all of the questions that I had written down. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask them. We'll probably answer them, but I definitely see your comments. So, and yeah, if there's any videos that you particularly want me to do, please let me know. I write down the majority of like suggestions that people give me. It's just that I don't necessarily do them immediately. So it might come later than you might expect. It won't just be like the next video that I do. But otherwise, that will be all. So thank you for coming and thank you for watching all the way to the end. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a restful sleep if you have fallen asleep. If not, that's okay. I hope you're a little bit more relaxed and have a great day.